everybody. So today is Monday. That means it's time for Movie Monday. And this week was a really interesting topic because it was on Best Remake. And, it's hard because there's a lot of movies that, I thought about doing Mad Max Fury Road, but is that technically a sequel or is it really a remake? I don't know. There are a lot of movies kind of like that, where it's a little bit fuzzy of whether it's really a reboot or a remake or a sequel or where it kind of lies. Also, it's hard because certain things like, say, Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley, that's just an adaptation of the book. I don't think it's necessarily a remake of the Greer Garson, Laurence Olivier movie. So, I don't know, it's tough. I was kind of all over the place a little bit with this list, but here's what I came up with. So the first one I want to talk about is one of the best movies ever made. You could say that this is an adaptation of the book, but it really is, I think, a pretty close telling a remake of the silent film. We're talking about The Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz was based on a silent film of the same name, obviously, and based on the Baum books, but it's pretty loosely based on the books. It's more based on this original movie, and it's just one of the best movies ever made. The music is great, the acting is great, the production design is great. It's just one of the best ever, for sure. My next choice is You've Got Mail, and this was a remake penned by Nora Ephron of the Jimmy Stewart classic, the film of the Jimmy Stewart classic Shop Around the Corner. And both films are just a complete delight. I love them both. And the original film is all about these coworkers that are actually pen pals, basically. And so they updated it to email. And I think that You Got Mail is actually way underrated. I think the script is so good by Nora Ephron. There's so much commentary she gives about just silly stuff like Starbucks, where she has a little thing about the confidence that Starbucks gives you. Or I love little moments where she says that I feel like everything, she says, I lead a small life, valuable but small, and I can't decide, do I do it because I like it or because it was easy? And, just sort of moments in the script that I just think are brilliant. This is Father of the Bride. And Father of the Bride is a remake of the Spencer Tracy and Elizabeth Taylor film. And I think it's kind of better in almost every way. I love Steve Martin in this role. I think that he has such heart. You really feel how much he loves his daughter. And, it's kind of manic and crazy, but one of my favorite scenes ever is when he flips out over buying hot dogs. And that scene always makes me laugh. And I think Martin Short is hilarious in it as Franck. He's so good. Next choice is Sabrina. And I think this is another movie that's way underrated. I think that Sidney Pollack did a wonderful job in directing this movie. I think that Harrison Ford is really good in it. I actually think this is better than the original, even though I love Audrey Hepburn. I think that her and Humphrey Bogart didn't really have very good chemistry in the original film because he was so much older than her. And I just love Julia Ormond in this. I think that she just has sort of she just has this quality about her that just is so gorgeous and beautiful and sort of European. I don't know. She's just great, and you totally get why she would just transfix both Greg Kinnear and Harrison Ford, who I both think are great. I think all the side performances are great. I think the script is really good. I just think it's beautifully shot. I really like it. And my final pick is another one that's, I don't know if it's really a remake. It's interesting because the stage musical was definitely a remake, and we're talking about My Fair Lady. And My Fair Lady was a remake of the film and book Pygmalion and play Pygmalion, and they took it and made it into a musical, and then they made the musical My Fair Lady. And I think that this movie is just a delight. Rex Harrison is so great. I like Audrey Hepburn. I would have rather they picked Julie Andrews, but I think that Audrey Hepburn is lovely in it. I think that the sets and the costumes and the songs and everything are just so much fun, and it has real wonderful heart to it. I don't know if I love the ending. I think that the ending actually in Pygmalion is probably a little bit better, but it works, it's fine. Because the best kind of remakes are ones where you take the original film and you do something a little bit different, but you make small but meaningful changes. And I thought about putting Cinderella in here, but I really don't feel like that's a remake. I feel like that is just a new take on Cinderella. Like, there's just been so many, whether it's Ever After or Slipper in the Rose or, those kind of things that I don't think that I feel the same way with Jungle Book. I mean, I feel like every 10 years or so we get a new sort of version of Jungle Book. And so I don't really see those as remakes per se. So that's sort of my thoughts on remakes. What are some of your favorite remakes? Put in the comment section, let me know. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.